Hey, what's good, fam? Welcome to another episode of the Feed Me, Fuel Me podcast. DERZ and Jeff coming to you. Just the two of us this week. What's good, man?
Remember that song?
Just the two of us.
Oh, chilling, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Got a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
You doing the most, man. We're gonna miss you for a couple of weeks.
I know.
Heading out to Israel, huh?
Heading out to the place, man.
What's going on out there?
Have an Amazon conference out there, man. So a buddy of mine runs a seminar or a summit known as the Top Dog Summit.
Okay.
And they bring only 60 sellers on Amazon, so the top 60 sellers on Amazon, into this sort of this mastermind, essentially. Sure. And we just talk about, like, cutting-edge strategies that are working. So a lot of stuff that, like, you're not going to be able to get online. Yeah. And the guys who are speaking at the seminar, they're seven-figure a month earners. Okay. So they know the ins and outs of how the system works for Amazon, e-com, and all of that stuff when it comes to marketing your product. Okay. So
sounds like a good dude to know.
Yeah, just a group of people. So it's more than I think they have like 8 to 10 speakers. Okay. And there's no marketers there. There's no sales. Okay. It's just pure tactics. So we're sitting there live implementing strategies, like on the fly with people who are like super successful in that realm. Okay. And so it's a pretty close knit event. 60 people get invited. Invite only event.
So and I'm one of the people. There as a member of the audience, essentially, laptop open, the back end of your Amazon account. I don't know how it all works. And just in real time implement what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's cool. Okay. So it's four days, full immersion, all day event. So you start at 8. And you end at like 8 at night. Right. Oh, and then once you leave, you go out and go eat with them all night. So you're sitting there, and that's why they keep it small, because the guy who the one who runs it, his name is Roy Farhi. I met him last year at an Amazon conference in Amsterdam. Okay. And him and I became really great friends. Yeah, it was a fun trip, man. So him and I became really great friends, and he's the one who hosts the conference. Okay. And so the people that they bring in, like I said, invite only, 60 people, and then the guest speakers they have are very successful in that realm.
So who are like the names? Who's the Arnold of Amazon below Jeff Bezos?
Ooh, man.
Like, who's doing the most right now?
I don't know. I think it's a lot of different people, right? Because a lot of these people are independent sellers, so they have their own, as we were talking about, their own brands. Yep. And so when you see these brands like an Anchor who does, they're selling like, what do you call it? Mobile phone parts or whatever. Oh, right. Yep. They started off as a one-product company, but then they IPO'd just recently. Really? And they were a small company, like a one-man shop.
You can IPO off Amazon.
Yeah, because they built a company, a real company, selling physical products. Right. And then those physical products turned into a company that has employees, and it's a real thing. Yeah. So people are starting as solo entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, building products and building these suite of products that are making them massive incomes, and then eventually selling that or getting bought out by investment companies and things like that. Right, so it's a very lucrative business. So like from the Jeff Bezos who owns Amazon itself, all of the items that you see listed, say like, for instance, I bought a tactical backpack. So you can go to goruck.com, get yourself a tactical backpack. Right. Or you can go to Amazon.
Solid investment, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Or you go to like Amazon.com. I put tactical backpack in, and all these no-name brands essentially pop up that have the same quality as a GoRuck, but they're not as expensive. Right. Those are independent sellers who they made their own product, listed it, and they're just building their company from there. Okay.
So to that point, how do you do that? Right. GoRuck is a known brand, and then you have all these no name competing companies, right in the same market space. Why are they not? Why don't they get kicked off Amazon the way you did it with the foam rollers? What's that all about?
I ran into a patent infringement problem, so that had to do with like the USPTO and the guy owning the patent itself.
Like what is it about the product you built that got you in trouble?
Yeah, so it was one of those
because you did all the homework. Yeah, I did. I remember you, like, before you launched it, like in that due diligence phase, like you disappear off the planet of the Earth, the planet Earth when you do that, when you're in that mode. So it's not like it was you were trying to like get around something,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So like, What did he say that you got? What'd you get in trouble for?
Yeah, so mine specifically was a patent infringement, and when I spoke to my lawyer about this, it was what he called a Hail Mary patent. So as I'm doing my due diligence, going through all of the avenues and doing everything I had to do to make sure like my product's legit and ready to launch, all through that process, like things are good to go. Hit up my manufacturer, start getting things created. I'm not infringing on any patents. We're good to go.
Sure.
But as I created the product, the patent office approved a patent that year after I've done all my research.
Okay.
Where this guy got a patent for a 2-piece cylindrical object with rigid edges. And that was exactly my product. But when I searched at that time...
That's such a vague description.
It's so vague. And that's why he calls it a Hail Mary patent, because he got that patent approved that year, like 2018, 2017.
Yep.
So his patent knocks out all of the companies prior to him starting his foam roller. That's 20 years of companies. Right. So it was one of those things that got passed, and it's so broad, so vague that it knocked out a huge category of people.
Sure.
And how he got that, I was talking to him, he's like, I don't know how he got that patent, because there was companies around, like, what's that one company? I don't know.
Foam roller is an actual company.
There was companies around prior to that happening, and I just happened to get caught up in that mix of one of those things that happened. So it's just one of those things that
a Hail Mary patent.
A Hail Mary patent. So that's how it happened with me.
Okay.
But like with your mention with like companies like a GoRuck, they're known because we talked about brand building, and that's essentially how you build brands, right?
No, absolutely. But why wouldn't they? So I'm assuming there's a patent somewhere out there for a tactical backpack.
Yeah, but the thing about patents, it's one of those things too. It's you make a certain change or an alteration on that product, and then it's not infringing anymore.
It's a whole new product.
It's a whole new product. It's a whole new category.
So is that why, for example, let's say you could patent a stopwatch.
Okay.
Right. There's a patent out there for a stopwatch that opens like this.
Yeah.
Right. If I put, and it's just the stopwatch. If I put a chain on that stopwatch, it's a totally different product.
That's a good question. I know is
that like the kind of thing we're talking about?
Yeah, it's sort of like that, because there's a design patent and a utility patent.
Okay.
So the design is like
how it looks.
How it looks. Then utility is like the use of it.
How it functions.
And so I came across a design and utility, like the utility of the roller being able in that cylindrical shape.
Sure.
So I would have had to change it to like a square shaped roller, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's not infringing in that point. But if like the stopwatch example, if it's like the design is a 3-button stopwatch with a 2-inch diameter screen with 2 buttons on the front. Somehow they get that patent.
But see how detailed that is compared to a cylindrical object with rigid edges? Yeah. Like that's why I'm so blown away about what happened to you.
Yeah.
It sounds like complete bullshit to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. Like, that's the thing about
legalese, man.
Legalese, dude. Once you get that, you find a way to get something across and it gets dialed in, it can decimate companies, but it's one of those things I just got caught up in the whirlwind of it. Man. Yeah, for sure. So but like with the tactical backpack, there's probably patents I'd have to look. I don't know offhand, but like they're probably not infringing on what they're doing. It's just another branding of a backpack. Yeah. And they're doing it their own way. Mm-hmm. And they might have made some like alterations to it that make it, fit and conform to what they're doing and building. Yeah. So it's a lot of crazy stuff like that going on. But like a company could start on Amazon because that's just a vehicle to get attention. Sure. They're not a GoRuck. Maybe they don't have the money at this point. Yeah. You start on Amazon. You build your brand, and then eventually you can sell your brand for millions of dollars. Right. So and they can be the next GoRuck. Sure. They can be the next Rogue. But just so happened they used that vehicle of Amazon first, and then built out from there. Yeah. So it's just a different way of, getting market share in a sense.
It's interesting, man. I just watched West Side vs. the World.
Okay.
The Louis Simmons West Side Marvel documentary, and he's been on numerous podcasts talking about the reverse hyper that he developed. Yeah. He doesn't sell his patents. Like his whole ethos, if you will, is that this will make the industry stronger.
Right.
And if you have the means to, you know, make this massive steel object,
right,
you know, do it.
Yeah, because you know what's sort of funny off of that? He's going through a legal battle with patents right now.
Is he?
So you know that company Titan Fitness?
Yeah.
They infringed on. So Rogue is the only one who can make West Side's
Louis stuff.
Yep. Because he allowed them. Yeah. So basically like that, the reverse hyper machine where you tap your feet in and you kick back. Rogue is the only company allowed to make that.
Okay.
Titan made an iteration of it for themselves, but it's the same design, same layout. And so Rogue said, you guys are infringing on this patent from Louis Simmons.
Right.
And so they're going into a huge legal battle right now with Titan because they said they have the exclusive patent for that machine. I believe it's that. What's that bull? Is it the Bulldog machine?
Where
you can squat with the belt?
The belt squat.
The belt squat.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
I
so
don't know
like
what they call it.
Like Titan does a lot of stuff, and I don't want to like throw them under their bus or anything, but they're doing a lot of stuff that can potentially like lead to legal, issues down the road.
Sure.
But they're essentially doing the model of like what people were doing on like an Amazon or whatever.
Right.
They're building their brands and, essentially not private labeling it, but creating their own, branding their stuff.
Right.
And they've built a massive brand off of just like replicating what's out on the market.
Sure.
And doing it for a lower cost.
Right.
Because if you can get a reverse hyper machine from Rogue that costs $2,000.
What did that damn thing cost me? It's pricey.
Like $2,000. Yeah. Titan selling this for $600 or $1,000.
Yeah.
And so they're getting a lot of market share.
Sure.
And then that's when Rogue is just like, hey, we need to put a stamp on this because you guys are cutting into our product. We're making high quality fitness equipment. And you guys are making less than high quality fitness equipment, but you're taking a lot of our competitors.
Right.
So things like that do happen.
Wow.
And I don't know the status on that, but it's just wild when you get into the products market, man.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like the water's a lot murkier on the product side than on the service side, which is where I play. Mm-hmm. Because now you're talking about the difference between McDonald's and Burger King.
Absolutely.
Like it's just really depends on whose fries you like better.
Yeah.
But they're all making the same thing.
Absolutely.
So, when it comes to CrossFit gyms and stuff like that, or just, other fitness facilities for that matter, it just depends on what flavor you like.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different perspective as opposed to, making a similar product and now you really are eating into somebody's pie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
so wild because I'm with you. I came from the service world as well, man, with the consulting.
Yeah.
And we develop, we're software, like I'm a software guy. We develop source code. And somebody takes your source code and they could switch it up and you're like, dude, that's my code.
Right.
Like I wrote this.
Yeah, that's my app.
That's my app or whatever. And then, but what can you say? If they change lines of code, it's their code now.
Right.
So there's blurred lines within the service. So I came from that world where I understand okay, you're not really going to infringe on anybody's, code unless you're just directly stealing it and not like changing things and using it as a model.
That social network type
shit. Dude. Exactly, right? But like people give Zuck a lot of flack on that one, but he built it, man. Like from the ground up, like it was his ingenuity that built it. Yeah, they may have had the concept, the idea, but he was the person
he drove it forward.
He drove it forward, And so like I err on the side of the developer, the programmer.
Yeah.
Because the business minds didn't know how to actually do what he did. Right. And at the end of the day, they got money from him, but that's like they can't really say like we knew how to build Facebook to the scale that you were going to build it, right?
Right.
So I don't know, just
to 1 billion users, and all that good stuff.
But but going to the learning the product side, and that's where I got my ass kicked with my first product. Is that I know how to like do the private labeling and getting things to scale. Like so, where I was building Land of Lean was, I didn't have the money of a Optimum Nutrition or whatever at that time.
Yeah.
But I was working with manufacturers building off of their supplements. And then when I finally have those formulas built out for myself, like start building recurring revenue.
Right.
Then I create custom formulations.
Right.
And then the company starts getting valued at higher and higher. Then we start hiring out.
Right.
So I understood that process in my mind.
Sure.
But then when like the foam roller shit hit, it was just like, holy crap, this is a completely different game than where I came from. Because not only am I dealing with, like the development where you're putting capital up front to get paid on the back end.
Right.
Now I have to deal with all these other legal factors of like looking at patents, getting trademarks, looking at this, and this.
Sure.
So it's an entirely different layer of complexity from like a service now going to a product base.
Yeah.
And the marketing's completely different, man, because it's like you said, you build it, there will come. And it's like, that's bullshit, right? Because it's like, it's so much out there. Like, what's going to make Jeff Thornton's Land of Lean foam roller different than this company's foam roller?
Right.
Well, they're just fucking foam rollers, right? Sure. But people are going to buy the brand that's built behind it. So as Land of Lean, the strategy was building, like creating videos, putting information out there, building that community, building that audience.
Right.
Then people are buying Land of Lean because it's Land of Lean, not buying a fucking foam roller.
Right.
And so that's the mindset when you go from building products now.
Yeah.
Because I think the older model, like when people first launched on Amazon, I would say like 2012, 2013, was you have a home run product. And so that's, you could look online, say fidget spinners are the thing that's the hot item right now. Yeah. So I go hit up a manufacturer in China, give me X amount of fidget spinners. I don't care the quality, whatever. Just send me a shitload of them. Yeah. They create the fidget spinners, send them to me. I put them on Amazon, and you blow it out the fucking water. Okay. You hit a home run product where you're making $100,000 a week off of a fidget spinner. So you're going from hot item to hot item to hot item without having a brand. Right. So it could just be Acme brand. Sure. I'm making fidget spinners, foam rollers, supplements, tools, whatever. Right. That game changed a few years ago to where it's just like, now Land of Lean can't make fidget spinners, this, and this. Land of Lean needs to be a fitness company that makes fitness products. Right. So now we're worrying about the scope of building a brand instead of just building a product business. Right. Right? Because you hear it on Shark Tank all the time where it's like, you're not a company yet, you're just a product. Yep. And it was like, for the long time, what the fuck do they mean by that? Like, they're making X amount of dollars a year. Right. They're not doing bad. Right. It's like, but what they're saying is that nobody recognizes the brand. Like, you have a water cooler. You're just a water cooler like, you just have one product. Yep. You don't have a suite of products. Like, when you think of Rogue, you think of Rogue Fitness as a company. Right. Rogue doesn't just sell barbells. Like, right. And so that's when you start thinking the mindset have shifted from just having products to being a company that has a brand now. Yeah. And so that's where everything that we're going to talk about at this conference are people who have brands that you may or may not know that you're interacting with. Sure. And they just sort of sit behind that curtain of like, you're buying this, you're buying the Go Rug. Because everything
above and beyond an NDA at a conference like that, everything's under the scope of anonymity, right? So it doesn't matter, these guys are major players, but you don't know what their company, their product, or whatever is, right? Right. So that it's strictly tactical. It's not like I get on stage and say, "This is how I built CrossFit PHX." Right. It's like, no, this is how I'm crushing it in the fitness space, but you don't know what I'm doing in the fitness space. Right. And it depends how transparent they want to be. Okay. And because I think from my mindset going out there, they're going to actually tell what company they're running. Okay. And then showing the tools that they're using on like the back end to get it to where they got it to. Right. But like, as we talked about in an earlier podcast, like the events that I went to last year were, and we talked about it last week, I'll bring that up in a second, but it wasn't transparent. I would meet somebody at this Amazon conference and say, hey, my name's Jeff. What do you do? What do you sell? Oh, my name's Johnny. I'm in the auto category. Okay, Johnny. Jeff, what do you do? I'm Jeff. I'm the owner of Land of Lean. I sell foam rollers. That's the first thing I launched. They're like, what? Don't tell me you sell foam rollers. Like, how am I going to tell you about my company if I don't know what the fuck, like, how are you going to buy into me if you don't know what I sell? Like, and it was the lack of transparency killed me. Because you think you're going to meet somebody at Nike and they're like, hey, man, like the CEO of Nike. Hey, my name's Jeff. Your name's whatever. Yeah. What do you sell? Well, I sell shoes, apparel. Well, what's the name of your company? Yeah. Well, it's just shoes. Right. They want you to know I sell fucking Nikes, then so where I can get them. Yeah. And like that lack of transparency killed me, man, because it's like I'm not gonna. And I think it was like the scarcity mindset. Even though these people were crushing it, the scarcity of not being able to tell what their company was and what they sell.
of fear that I was going to go back to my hotel room, buy a product and start selling them and beat them as competition.
Right.
And so like I didn't like that.
Sure.
And so going to this one, from what I was told from my boy who's running is like, no, it's nothing like that. Like
that's awesome.
We're going to tell you the products we're selling.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to undercut us. But because there's market share for everybody, even if we like
everybody eats.
Right.
Right.
And so like that's what I enjoy about it. But the lack of a transparency with these other ones killed me, man.
You know, it's interesting the difference in mindset from what the things you attended last year compared to where you're going in Tel Aviv, from the standpoint that instead of everybody, there's two mentalities using the pie example, right? There's the you're trying to get a bite of my pie,
right?
That's one mentality. That's the scarcity mindset. And then there's the abundance mindset that says, well, we'll just make a bigger pie.
Right.
Right. And it sounds like that's the difference.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because anything's tactic based. Like you could give me an idea of what you want to build today.
Yeah.
And I could go create whatever it is. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to execute it the way that you're going to execute on that, because may not be as passionate about it, and B, may not know how to implement it because I truly don't care, right? But you could come in on the back end, whether I launched it or not, prior to you launching it, you told me an idea, you come in and blow me out the water because that's something that you have the unique skill set to blow up, and the passion and whatever it is.
Sure.
And so if you're coming from that mindset, you'll be vastly more successful, because it's like, oh, how many CrossFit gyms are in this world, right? Right. But people come to your gym because of the community you created. You created a brand of CrossFit PHX. They can go anywhere they want if they get the same experience, right? But they come to you because
we're all doing fitness,
right?
Yeah.
But you put your flavor, your mix on it, and created the brand of CrossFit PHX, and that's bigger than just creating a product of working out, right? Right. And so it's the same if you flip that same mindset into products in a physical space, like what I'm selling, like going into supplements now. It's like, everybody creates supplements. There's Optimum Nutrition, whomever, but they have their audience. And they built it a certain way. I'm going to build my audience and attract the certain people that I need to attract. Right. And I'm not going to be taking from any of these people. Right. I'm just going to be attracting the people that resonate with my brand or whatever. Absolutely. So it's it's wild.
And it from a branding standpoint, I think you bring up so many layers to branding. It's more than a logo. It's more than viral videos on the internet. It really is. When you I feel like really good brands create emotion. Right. Like they're the one, like you look at Apple and you feel something. You look at Rogue, you feel something. Right. You look at First Form, you feel something. You look at CrossFit PHX, you feel something, or you know something. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a feeling and an expectation, right? Of these really known brands, right? And those are the people that are dominating the space, that have the majority of the market share, right? But even those people, those brands, don't serve everybody. Absolutely, right? And I think that's something that people need to really understand, is that as awesome as Apple's probably the best example, as awesome as Apple is, I think when you look at the planet Earth, right, the perception of Apple is that they control the market, right? They actually don't have the majority of market share, right? And a lot of people don't know that because of the image that Apple has been able to put forth. Absolutely. They own a lot of the North American market share, but overseas it's like Samsung, Nokia, and companies like that within that brick, what would you call it, Brazil, India, China. Brazil, Russia, India, and China is what it is. Okay. That's what's known as the brick in the technology. Got it. And the four other major markets. Yeah, 4 other major markets. Okay. And so, like you hit the right point. And the thing with those companies they're built on is like basically Simon Sinek's books, Start With Why. Yep. They stand solid behind their why. Like you never see an Apple commercial where they completely shit on Android or Samsung. Right. They pitch their why. They go after their audience and say, this is what we're about. So they'll show people running, Serena Williams hitting a thing. Like we're going after disruptors.
And that's their whole marketing since it came out in the 80s, where the guy runs down the middle aisle where all these people are sitting in the chairs. He throws like a hammer and breaks the screen.
Yes.
Because they're going after disruptors, people who don't follow the flow, the path. Right. And they've stuck behind that message their entire life.
Yep.
And so they've allowed companies to come in and do what they got to do, but they've never directly gone and said, don't get no damn Android or don't get Samsung. They're like, you want Apple because this is who you are.
Sure.
This is our mission. This is why and that's why they're a massive company.
And they also do things like on the sneak, like Max gets shit for it all the time because he's got an Android. And when that text thread turns green,
they're very
like,
good.
Oh, there's somebody who's not one of us.
Yeah. So you know that person's not part of that community, right? And so it's like little subtleties like that. Sure. And like you said, the major companies are doing that. When somebody wears a Rogue T-shirt, you're one of us. When you're walking wherever you're going walking in any country, you see somebody wearing that CrossFit shirt, you're like, you're one of us. Like, I get you already, and you don't even have to speak the same language, but you are speaking the same language because you've adopted that mindset already. And so when it comes to brand building, like that's how I think of when I start building stuff like Land of Lean. Yes, I'm shutting it down right now, but I'm going to rebrand and build it once again once I build this next company out because I already understand the tenets of building it. It's just getting the why solidified, making sure I have the legal stuff taken care of, and like doing it the right way this time. Because the first time was like, like full of bullheaded, full of steam, like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go crush it. Crush consulting, let's go crush this. Completely different game. Now it's just like, how can I build the audience? How can I build the community that resonates with the messaging and then create the products on the back end that serve them in the best possible way where they can feel like, Land of Lean or this company understands me. Like I am this company now. Right.
You become you have representatives of your brand here, there, and everywhere. It was really cool when we went down to Maui, Nicole and I, wearing, CrossFit PHX, and there are people at Lahaina CrossFit who haven't been to PHX, but they recognize PHX, and they know they have an idea of what this brand represents, what these 4 stars represent, you know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what you're talking about. And it's when it's all said and done, it's also a relationship game, right? It doesn't matter if you're in products or service, and this is something that a lot of folks that are about to be on the show are going to talk about, and that Eric, who was on last week, talked about. We're all in the business of people, like because of technology and you can't hide behind the Amazon marketplace, right? You still have to create that relationship somehow, some way, either as Jeff or via your brand. You have to create a relationship with the people that subscribe to your product or service.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where a lot of these minnows are getting swallowed up by the sharks, if you will, because they don't understand. They think that, it's online, or you're seeing it with a lot of CrossFit athletes. We were just talking about going to the Rogue Invitational, how a lot of these really badass athletes aren't marketable because they're not good at the relationship piece. Right. There's nothing about them for the world at large to appreciate and fall in love with and get behind when they're not on the competition floor. Right. So that's why so many of them are bringing on film crews and doing the day in the life stuff. People that have crushed it this way, Dan Bailey, Jason Khalipa, and really giving people something to hold on to. They've created a relationship with their audience, their customer base, what have you. And I think that's where the game is won.
Absolutely.
When it comes to branding, do you have a rock solid relationship with your people?
Yeah, it's true, man. And you hit the nail on the head. It's all about like building that lifetime value with the customer. And we talk about it all the time. It's just like anybody can get that one-time purchase, but can you get it twice? Can you get it 3 times, 4 times? And like that's what's gonna build that camaraderie, like that belonging sense. And like that's what a brand is.
Yeah.
Because like I mentioned, in the early days, people are selling products. They'll sell you a silicone spatula all day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then will they keep coming back to that company? Yes, they will. Like if the brand's built on solid ground, or otherwise, if it's just a product, I'll buy this spatula one day, then I'll go to this company and buy a spatula because I need spatulas or whatever it is. Right. But like you said, building that foundation of having a brand that communicates and resonates with somebody and creates that emotion, that's the tougher piece. And that's all done on the back end. You create that feeling once they get the product, then it's like the follow-up message. It's cards sent to them. It's whatever, have you, email, whatever you do. Yeah. You have to be able to build up that connection with them and make them feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And like, this is, this is who I am as a person. Like they understand who I am. Sure. And so like, as I start building these, now I'll release the company name that I'm launching here once I get back and all that good stuff. Just trying to make sure everything's like dialed in on that side first. So like, cause for me, I'm not secretive. Like the whole thing is like, I go by as raw authentic, man. Like I want to be as real, raw, and authentic as possible. Transparent. Just transparent. Just like, if I'm fucking up here, if I'm successful here, I'm gonna let you know in personal and business, because if you can learn from like my mistakes or my successes, I'm here to teach you. I don't feel like you're gonna take from me. No. And it's like competition's a great thing. We talked about it a little bit off the mic.
Drives innovation.
Yeah, with 100%. Max, we talked about it with Max. So it's like, how many people shoot video in this world? Millions of people. How many people do CrossFit? Millions of people. How many people sell products? Millions of people. If you're worried about the competition, saying, "Well, I feel like that's what's going to make you grow. That's going to make you evolve." If you didn't have that, if you monopolized, you would be stagnant, and nothing would grow. There would be no evolution in the process. Right. So like embracing that and creating your own competition essentially is going to make you become better, evolved. Oh, yeah. So we'll see where it goes, man. But
that's what's up.
It's gonna be a fun trip, dude.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to picking we'll revisit this dialogue when you get back and see the real time lessons learned, right? In we'll call it phase 1 versus what you're going after in phase 2. Yeah, no doubt, man. That's what's up, man. Where can everybody? We're gonna roll reverse here. Okay. Where can everybody go to catch up with Jeff Thornton?
Oh man, everything on social media for me is I am Jeff Thornton.
Which I have to tell you, when we do fucking intros at the gym, makes me laugh because you're introducing yourself with your Instagram handle. Like that'd be like me saying Coach DERZ, blah 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 blah. Like I am Jeff Thornton. It just tickles me, man. Every time you say it, it just makes me laugh.
Branding, bro. Branding. No, it's funny. The reason why I did I am Jeff Thornton, I did it back in the day, dude. Because everybody asks me, why do you do it like that? Forever. Yeah, it's because I could get it across every social media platform. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I would have just gone Jeff Thornton. Yeah. But they were taken on on social media. But so I was like, I need to have a brand that's continuity across all forms. So that's why I did it that way.
There's a Coach DERZ on Twitter.
That fool hits us. Oh my gosh.
And he hits us up all the time. He's so mad. I'm not that guy. Yeah. Like, sorry, bro.
Be happy you get mentioned.
Shout out to Coach DERZ on Twitter. I'm Coach DERZ on Instagram.
Right. Shit. That's a mess. That's so just funny.
But yeah, man. Dude, safe travels.
Yeah, appreciate you.
To catching up when you get back. And yeah, dude, you're going to crush it.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, man. Always good, man. Always good. We'll catch up.
Hell yeah. Onward and upward. Until next time, guys, feed me, fuel me.
Peace.